Center. If you have painful pressure in your face or ears, or maybe you have headaches or trouble sleeping, it could be an issue with your sinuses, which happens a lot here in Houston. Now there's an easier way to get a long-term relief system, though. We sent Great Day's Courtney Perna to American Sinus Institute for a closer look. Hello, Courtney. I think this could spell relief for so many people.
Absolutely, Deb. Well, Dr. Anrubi has been performing sinus surgeries for about 20 years in Texas. But, Doc, this beautiful new Houston office has only been open 2 weeks.
That's correct. We came 2 weeks ago, opened the facility, and we're ready to serve the patients of Houston that have sinus problems.
That's right. And the office is gorgeous. But you also have things that you're not going to find in other offices, like the CT scan. Most of the time, you have to go off-site to get that done.
That's correct. And in this facility, we're able to do the scan in the office, allergy testing in the office. It's all encompassed in one visit to the facility.
I love that. Now, 37 million Americans are suffering from sinusitis. What kind of symptoms are we talking about?
We're talking patients that have frequent headaches, drainage down their sinuses, inability to breathe, snoring issues, loud breathing during the night, chronic usage of antibiotics, chronic visits to the doctor, etc.
Well, this is one of your procedure rooms here, and we're going to demonstrate how you do this Anrubia technique on what you affectionately call the head. So let me know what's going on here. How do you give people relief?
What we do is we bring the patients into this facility, into this room. This is where we do the procedures actually. And we are able to put a balloon called the Acclarent Johnson
Johnson balloon. Well, there's a wire in
balloon.
there first, right? These simulates the sinuses, right? So you put this tiny wire in?
And we place this 1 millimeter wire through your nostrils under general anesthesia.
Right.
And we put the balloon, the wire in the sinus. No one gets in the sinus. It lights your head up, actually lights your forehead skin up.
That's cool.
And then we put a telescope in like this.
Oh, and you can see
we
it.
have our optics in the room that are the best optics you can get to do these procedures. That's the wire inside a simulated nose. And then we pass the balloon over the wire into a natural opening of your sinus. So we're opening the natural openings using this particular balloon.
This is like a breakthrough procedure. I mean, this balloon you told me is better than any other kind of balloon.
This is the best balloon because it's able to go into the nostril through the natural openings. And this is a photograph or an example of how it inflates.
So that's after it's in.
After it's in, it would inflate to 12 atmospheres and make a perfectly round opening in your sinus.
Instead of cutting away tissue.
Instead of cutting away tissue, removing tissue, creating bleeding, that then requires packing, discomfort, and pain. With this procedure, the patients can leave that morning back to action the next day if they want to.
And they're under general anesthesia, so you can do other things like fix a deviated septum if you want to. I mean, this procedure is really remarkable.
With the Anrubia technique, using the correct balloon and anesthesia, we're able to do a complete sinus procedure.
I love that. Well, and Stefan actually was your very first patient. Day one, patient one. Stefan, how are you feeling now?
I feel great. The procedure went well. There was no pain, nothing, and I could breathe again.
And you told me you can smell again. You didn't even know that you couldn't smell.
I didn't. There were times when I would just pass through stuff and I couldn't smell, and now I can smell everything. I was walking to a friend's house and I could smell all the stuff that was going on in a yard, the mulch, the dog stuff, and all that stuff was going on. It was just something that was amazing.
Now, for you, what were your symptoms and what did you go through before you came to the American Sinus Institute?
Well, I was having sinus infections twice a year, and it looked like it was going to my 3 or 4 times a year. And I would go to a doctor, and they'd give me antibiotics, and then I would clear up, but I knew it would come back. And it would get to a point where I couldn't breathe, and right in here, it would just clog up, and I couldn't do anything.
What else did you try before coming here?
I did some acupuncture, a lot
needles
of heat.
All over your face?
Oh, yeah, I had a lot of needles all over my face. I looked like Pinhead at one time. And then, just over-the-counter stuff, a lot of the sprays, and a lot of the sprays over-the-counter, they say you can only use them for like a couple of days.
Right. And I understand you travel a lot, so how did that affect you?
Well, I would have to find a doctor wherever I was, and they would do the same thing, and they would give me some antibiotics, and it would clear up, and then I'd be on my way. But now that I'm here, I don't have that problem there.
All right, well, patient number 1 is sounding good. He can actually breathe either. And Dr. Anrubia, I'm getting a little stuffy, so I think I'm just going to have you guys do a CT scan before I go, if that's okay.
We're ready to go.
See, Deborah, I'm in, so maybe I'll be getting it too. Who knows?
All right, as they say in Houston, that's just one of the #1 health problems we have. Well, for more information on the Anrubia technique and American Sinus Institute, you can call 713-BALLOON. That's 713-225-5666, 713-225-5666, or log on to americansinus.com. calm. You heard that patient say that he couldn't smell anything. Oftentimes when you can't smell anything, you also can't taste anything. So I bet food is a whole different thing for him as well. A whole new world. All right, all right. Well, it only takes a few minutes to do and should be part of your daily routine. We're talking about brushing and flossing your teeth. But